question for anyone who's not living in the United States. What's it like to watch the fall of an empire from the outside?
Oh, but we're not really on the outside. See, the empire in question isn't really America. It's a global consumer capitalist corporate oligarchy. And the thing that's collapsing isn't really the empire, at least not yet. The thing that we see crumbling is the veneer. The story that the empire would have you believe, the lie that it told to justify its own existence. A story about good guys versus bad guys, where morally upstanding Western democracies fight to spread freedom and justice around the world. A story about the merit system of consumer capitalism, where as long as you work hard and do what you're supposed to, you too can have a white picket fence, a station wagon, and affordable mortgage to inherit to your children. Now, personally, I'm of the opinion that this is really less of a collapse and more of a controlled demolition. We've been talking about this collapse for years and years now, about cost of living going up and living standards going down, about depression and mental illness going up, and generally people's lives becoming increasingly unbearable. Meanwhile, the people with wealth, the people in power, are consolidating wealth and consolidating power. We talk about the system like it's failing, but for the people at the top of the system, it's succeeding more than it ever has before. But of course, the growth that built this system was always obviously unsustainable. It can't be done forever. The deal used to be that you get this in exchange for looking the other way, while they get this by doing this. Now that that system is no longer sustainable, you don't get this anymore. Obviously, if the way the world has been running is no longer functional, they can't just transition into a new way of running the world in a calm and orderly and democratic fashion, because then the working people would have some sort of say over what we're transitioning into. And of course, then we'd probably choose to transition into something where these people lost most of their power. In order to transition away from the system that gave them power without losing their power, they have to create chaos, target consumption with totally irrational taxation on consumers and mostly small business owners, creating an uncompetitive economic environment where only giant corporate monoliths can afford to be. Have allies suddenly turn on each other to shatter people's sense of security and to justify dramatic increases in spending towards the military-industrial complex from multiple sources at once. Isolate people, not just by country, but within countries as well. Turn them against each other based on ethnicity or gender identity, sexuality, religion, ideology. Make them believe that their neighbors are their enemies, and through that fear transform them into ideologues so that they truly become their neighbors' enemies and are unquestioningly ready to believe that the people who benefit the most from their suffering, the most from the system the way it is, are actually their friends. Make the environment so chaotic and unbearable that people become truly desperate. Then, when you do show up with your brand new deal, with your technocratic utopian promises of a stable future, people will pounce on whatever it is you have to offer, if only you promise to save them from the chaos you've just subjected them to.